Am I the asshole for refusing to get rid of my shorts that my wife doesn't like? Here's some context. Hopefully, you guys are going to agree with me on this. I am not sure, Joe. I have some black elasticated shorts I've owned since I was 13. My mom originally purchased these shorts as part of my sport kit for school. They're 13 years old now, but they're still comfortable, and I wear these to bed every day. These shorts get washed every 3 days. They're in good condition. I like that he has to explain us the condition of the
Yeah.
shorts. My wife hates these shorts because she thinks they're ugly. She's spent the last 4 years begging me to get rid of them. I've refused to bin them, and she's refused to give up begging. We argued tonight and she's kicked me out of the bedroom and she's made me sleep on the couch. She's calling me an asshole as I won't get rid of them. I don't see why I should, as they're in great condition and they're comfortable. Am I the asshole?
Oh God. I don't know. First of all, why kick out someone who doesn't want like you're fighting over a pair of shorts?
I
Like
don't care what you wear. Like, I don't care if my partner has shorts from 1995. I don't care.
I mean, I've
Were you born
definitely
in 1995?
96.
Oh my god, the shorts are older than Maria.
I mean, I've told Carlos like throw away like a pair of multiple pair of shorts and pair of
No, you
t-shirts.
have not.
But he doesn't like like if it's something like emotionally, I don't know, like it seems like he has an emotional attachment to that pair of shorts. But yeah, I'm not gonna fight over a pair of shorts.
You're not gonna kick him out of the bedroom.
No.
I wouldn't either. I don't care. Okay, once again, hear me out. I'm at fault here because I have a sweater. It's a goofy sweater. Everybody in my family knows about the goofy sweater. It's a goofy sweater I have since 1995.
I mean, I do have some
No.
multiple pieces that I've kept for a very long time. And maybe there's like an emotional attachment to those things, but I mean, if he doesn't care, like he would just like throw it away, like it doesn't matter. But if it's something that's important for him, I mean, I'm not gonna make him throw away something that he clearly loves.
Yeah, I think that would be really weird if my partner came up to me and be like, "Oh, throw away Goofy."
Yeah.
I would not throw away Goofy. Let me just point that out.
No.
I would not do that.
Goofy stays.
It stays. And the funny thing is, I don't even wear Goofy, but I have it and I wear it when I'm sad and I wear it in my room. So it's not like I go out into the public with Goofy. But I wouldn't throw it away at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
No, don't make it. No, you're not the asshole. Don't
You're
throw.
not the asshole.
It seems like your wife is the asshole.
Yeah.
Who did you marry here, Joe?
I mean, I'm sure there were red flags before, so
It sounds like these pair of shorts were not the only red flags in your life. I think you should reevaluate your situation, my friend.
yeah.
I cannot believe we are doing an episode of The Unfiltered after so many months.
Like 4 months.
We don't even know how to count. It was August the last time we did this.
Yeah, 4 months ago.
4 months ago. Many things have happened.
Ooh, yeah. The last quarter of 2023 has been interesting, to say the least. It's been rough. It's been rough.
It's been rough. I second that. It's been rough. Yet
Amazing.
I think last year when we did the recap for the year,
Yeah.
and I remember saying it was amazing. I'm feeling very at peace, very happy. And I remember you saying that you didn't think it was a good year because you felt like you weren't working. Remember when you said that?
Yeah.
And I said to you, you have a feature film coming out and you just started. You are a grateful little girl. I didn't say that part, but I did think it. Remember that?
You thought about that?
Okay, I didn't say that, but I did say, like, listen, when I started out acting.
I mean, but it's been a year that I haven't worked either, so
Yeah, but you haven't worked in acting, but you have been working in a lot of other
Yeah,
things.
I have.
And I think that part of an actor's life is that you do have a life outside of the industry. And
Yeah.
you've had that this year and you've been very successful at it.
Which is also very important. I feel like actors that are just actors, they have a harder time like
Yes.
feeling accomplished, and it's like putting your eggs in one basket. I know that's like a cliche saying, but it's true. Like, I mean, just think about it. Like, how many actors want to have something else on the side, like maybe
Mhm.
like a brand or something else, like whatever that is, and we unconsciously do have like double, like I don't know what careers, maybe like
We do.
whatever,
Mhm.
and we don't even realize that we have what other actors would want
Want.
to have.
Yeah.
So like you have your own projects besides acting, and I have
Mhm.
my own projects aside from acting as well.
Yeah, and that doesn't take away from us being actors. I mean, that is almost like it's very helpful for us as
Mhm.
actresses to have this other life,
Yeah.
So you're right. We should talk about that, and we should talk about everything that has happened. So before we get started, welcome to episode number 5 of the Unfiltered, and this is the extended version.
Episode what?
25, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but it's episode 12 for season 2.
Listen, this is the problem. I'm not the one mentioning the numbers. I mentioned it today because I wanted to say extended version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Maria say it the way that she does say it every time. And then I will just add before extended version. So welcome to Vion Fielder's extended version of episode.
12 season 2.
Wait, isn't it like 20 something in general?
Yeah, it's 25, but for season 2 it's episode 12.
Okay, so we're going to do that again.
Okay.
And this time we're going to say the episode for the season and overall. How does that
Okay.
sound? Let's do it, Maria.
Yeah,
We can
perfect. We can
okay,
do it. We
listen,
can do
this is
it.
what happened
We
when
can do it.
we can
We can
totally
do
do
it.
this. Let's get in the zone. And we're going to apply right now the technique that we never use.
We're a little bit rusty.
Let's go method
Yeah,
right now.
okay,
Let me
yeah.
just transform into this character, right? Okay, let's put on our broadcasting voices. Ready? Hold on. Welcome to the Unfiltered's extended version of episode
12 season 2, but overall it's episode 25th.
Welcome to episode 25th.
Oh my god, we're a fucking disaster.
Sex,
Relationships
careers,
and just plain life, from the experience of 2 Latina actresses.
welcome to the Unfiltered. Hi, I am Vanessa Tomasino.
And my name is Maria Bruson.
Welcome finally to the Unfiltered, last episode of 2023. Don't worry, we almost thought we were gone too after we disappeared for like months. I'm sorry.
The last quarter of 2023, we're gonna make it up in this episode. So
Yeah, because it's like I said, it's extended. It's an extended version, so we won't finish this podcast in 25 minutes. I think we should start with an apology. I feel like I should apologize. Do you feel
for
like
not being
apologizing?
here, no.
This is why I like
mean-
her. She's a different generation. I'm totally Gen X. I feel like I need to apologize for everything that I do.
No, I mean, I feel like I think it's like collectively a collective feeling that the last quarter of this year has been really hard. It's been like a whole lot of emotional
Turmoil.
salad.
But
Let's just put it that way. And I feel
salads
like-
are delicious.
yeah, but no, I mean, it's been a delicious salad of emotional roller coasters
And cringe.
yeah. I feel like we just needed some time. Like I needed time for myself and for my own stuff, and to like process my own problems in my life. And it was a hard couple of months.
Boy, did we have problems.
Yeah.
I second Maria, but I do want to apologize because I feel like we did leave our followers hanging, and I kept hearing the same message over and over from our listeners saying, "Where's the next episode? What's happening? Where's the next episode?" And in all fairness, it was August, so we did have September, October, November, December before this episode. So at least 4 more episodes, right? And they were like, what's happening? And I agree with Maria. I think there were so many things happening. For me, a lot of things from work and
Mhm.
personal lives. I mean, it's just been really hard, how do I put it? Like, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know what would, the path that I'm supposed to take, but there were moments where I just got angry. I was just
Mhm.
angry at many things that I had no control of. And I've already read Mark Manson's book on how to not give a fuck about things that I
Mhm.
can't control.
Mhm.
It's a waste of time, it really is. But for some reason, I just kept getting angry at people that didn't quite understand my process. Like, I just don't understand. If I don't mess with anybody's life, like, I'm not the kind of person to gossip. Like, I don't care about your, I mean, I care about your life because I validate and I love you, but what I'm saying is, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be snooping around, like, gossiping about your life,
Mhm.
with a, I don't know, like, I don't, it's not my place to be talking about your life,
Mhm.
to other people. But I don't know why I find that in my family, they like to be gossiping about what
Mhm.
I do. And I don't understand that because I don't do that with them. I don't care what you do. I really don't. And it's not because I don't love them. I love them, but it's your life. You know better what's best for you. Why would I know what's best? Like, if I have friends and cousins, and separating and all that stuff, and it's funny because when they tell me, it's almost like with this guilt and shame, where they're like, oh, this is happening, almost like if I'm going to say something to them, like, why are
Mhm.
you doing this? And I say, good for you. If this is your decision, you made it, you decided to, well, I will support you. I don't know why it's so hard for people to respect your life and your boundaries.
Um, because I mean, I've also had like my own um processes in my life these past months, and what I've learned is that like when you're a people pleaser and when you
Hmm.
have that, because at the end of the day, people pleasing is an insecurity, and it's something that it's never going to be fulfilled, in the sense that you are a people pleaser except no one's pleased, and no one's going to be pleased ever.
Oh my God. Let me just read what did you see I just posted it on this on
Let me see.
Instagram. Oh, we both check.
Let me see.
Um, listen to the concert I went to last night. It was fun. Oh,
Yeah.
anyway, that's not what I wanted to show
Oh, I
you.
was like,
Hold
oh
on.
yeah,
But
fun.
yeah, fun.
Who yelled people pleaser?
People was no here. So Kiana posted. This is a quote from Keanu Reeves. Apparently, it says, "My mom said something. You can lie down for people to walk on you,
Mhm.
and they will still complain that you're not flat enough.
Mhm.
So live your life." And that's so true. You will never make everybody feel happy. Like, you will do whatever they want you to do, and they will still complain.
Yeah, I mean, like what, how, like, just like I said, we're people pleasers, except no one's gonna be pleased ever, and I don't know. It's just, it's weird, like it's weird just thinking about how people close to you will just, you're never gonna be good enough in their eyes,
Hmm.
and you're always like, a part of me thinks like, oh, they're just like being extra hard, and the criticism is just to make me be better and perform better. But there comes a point where it's just, it's enough, like
Yeah.
it's too much,
Yeah.
and you just have to like set boundaries. And these people, like, they react that way to you setting boundaries because you have been a people pleaser your entire life, so of course they're not going to like that,
Yeah.
because you've always lived your life to serve them,
Hmm.
to make them feel okay, to get their approval. And once you say like, okay, fuck it, like I don't want this anymore, of course there's rejection.
Yeah.
There's like that like, I don't know, like it's like a bouncing effect, like, oh wait, what, like they're not used to you, and then you become the bad one in the
The
story.
enemy. You
you
become the
are you
villain.
are the villain, because
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, I put the other day also on Instagram. You should just follow me, Vanessa Tomasino, on Instagram, because I'm putting these amazing quotes.
Sometimes I steal your posts and I repost
Crazy,
them on
go
my story.
crazy. That's what I love because it's knowledge that you're sharing.
Yeah,
But there was a post that said something about that. What you just said. What did you just say right now about the?
like it's like a bouncing effect. They're like, what, like like, wait, what? Like, now,
Mm-hmm.
like, why are you like this now? Like,
Yeah.
because they've known, like, people around me said, like, oh, but you've been so good for 27 years. Like, how are you like this? Yeah, but I've lived a fucking life for
Mm-hmm.
27 fucking years.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? People are so used to you being a people pleaser that the moment you said, you know what, I think I need my own time, like I think I need to really set boundaries, people don't like that.
No.
They don't like that. And they start saying like, oh, you're going crazy, who's feeding these ideas to you, what is happening to you, you know, like I it's funny that we don't set boundaries from the get-go, and we should.
Yeah.
Why don't they teach us that in school?
Recently, someone really close to me said that my therapist clearly does not work,
Oh,
and that
oh, oh.
they are willing to, for me, they would pay my therapist sessions
Mm-hmm.
if I go to this other therapist that they recommend. I'm like, you are still trying to manipulate me
Yeah.
to this day, and you want me to go to another therapist who is most likely going to manipulate me the way you want to manipulate me,
Yeah.
just because you don't like the way I'm handling things for my well-being.
And you know what the funny thing is? I don't even think that that new, like, even if you change to that other therapist, I don't think the therapist would agree with the person who told you this. I think this person has the idea that maybe because they're feeding them information for their life, that they're going to be on, that the therapist is going to be on their side.
Mm,
But the truth is unlikely. You know, they just want to
I
try to
know,
manipulate or
but
control the way you think.
but they're trying to, like, pay for my stuff
Absolutely. I
to
agree.
then shove it on my face and say, like, hey, I paid for this. I'm like,
Yes.
it's just like there's no winning situation for me
No.
in this scenario.
I agree with you, and it's funny that you say that because I had the same thing said to me
It's so
by another
weird.
person who I was trying to set boundaries. I love very dearly, but I was trying to set boundaries, and I said, and this person said to me, clearly your therapist is not a good one because she's giving you the wrong advice. I will sue her.
Sounds familiar. It's like,
I
just
was like,
because our
what?
therapists are telling us what's best for us and not necessarily siding with us, because most of the times they're not going to side with with the patient. Like,
My
they're just
therapist is not
gonna
siding with me.
they're just gonna, like, lay everything on the table, like,
Hmm.
from an objective point of view point of view
Yeah,
POV point of view. Yeah, I
yeah.
just try to mix both terms.
I love
Anyway,
that. It's like fugly.
yeah, fugly.
Yeah.
Point of view. And just because you don't like, you know, what I'm trying to work for myself and
Hmm.
my own self-esteem, my own everything, it's weird to me. Why would you not want me to get better? And that's the thing. They
Yeah.
don't want you to get better because they want you on your weakest self
Hmm.
so that they can keep controlling you.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't want you to set boundaries because setting boundaries means things are going to change. Here's the quote that I was telling you about the villain that you said. I posted this on December 26th. The more you heal, the more comfortable you are with being the villain in
Yeah.
the story of people who don't want to do the work to heal themselves.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
I
being the
love that
villain.
one.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I don't care anymore because I'm starting to realize that I'm actually not doing anything bad to them except putting boundaries. And if you feel like I'm hurting you, it's because you need to heal. You need to work
Hmm.
on yourself. But none of my business. I will set boundaries for myself. And if that's a problem for you, then you probably should go to therapy, or seek some help. Or, for some people it's religion, other people is, um, meditating, whatever works for you. But the point is, I'm not going to do the work for you.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing that just, I feel like it keeps me up at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when people take person, like you, for example, setting boundaries or just deciding to give yourself some space from people that just make you feel uncomfortable, and they take it personally, like that
Yeah.
says more about them
Than you.
than yourself, because you're
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself first. And I feel like getting to a point in where you are confident and you are at peace from removing yourself from situations that just make you feel uncomfortable, it's getting to a point of maturity
Yeah.
that, doesn't matter like what they think or what they will say, like you are doing it for yourself. And when
Yes.
people take that personally, that's on them. Like that's their problems to work on, to resolve, to, I don't know, figure what the fuck is going on in your
Mm-hmm.
head.
That's the
Not
work.
mine.
That's the work that they should be doing, not you. I keep the video keeps popping
See,
up. I will turn this off. But here's a quote that I was posting, and I thought of you when I was actually going to tag you. I'm pretty sure you saw it. I
I'm
hope you
yeah,
saw
I'm
it.
pretty sure. I'm pretty
It
sure I saw
said,
it.
"I would rather adjust my life to your absence than adjust my boundaries to accommodate your disrespect."
Yeah. Ooh.
Right?
I love that. Yeah.
Seriously, I thought about this. I was thinking about the people that hurt me this year. And by hurt, I mean that when I asked for boundaries, they said no, or they start calling me crazy. I mean, my people, these people that I'm mentioning, they have gone as far as saying that I'm crazy or that I'm a bad mother. And I don't appreciate that, because if you met my kids, these are the healthiest kids
Yeah.
emotionally that you can ever imagine. I mean, they're happy, they're free. My son, who is 6, he tells me everything, everything. What he's feeling, how he's hurting, if he likes somebody. He tells me everything. He's not afraid. And I think that's the type of mom that I am. I invest a lot of time in the emotional development. Yeah, I may not be that mom that feeds them organic food, and yes, they can watch TV. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, I watched TV all day long,
Me too.
and that didn't make me a worse person. Like, I don't think it affected my development. I would spend my holidays, I would wake up at 10 in the morning, start watching TV from 10 till 7, 8 p.m. What's the problem? And I allow my kids to do that as well. And then I'm being judged like, oh, you're such a bad mom because you're not playing with them. It's like, listen, if my kid wants to watch TV, he can do that. If he wants to play, which he does as well, he can play. I don't control his life. He's not mine. I gave him life, and I expect him to live his life, not live my life. But a lot of people hate that, even on social media. I think I told you this. People hate that I don't post pictures of my kids.
Well, first of all, pedophiles out there, like,
Of course.
they don't need your kids to be on the internet.
My kids haven't given me consent that they want to be on social media. One. Two, pedophiles and criminals would know where my kids live and what they do and how they look like. Why would I expose them? And number three, my personal life with my kids doesn't necessarily have to be on social media. Like, but that doesn't mean I'm not a mom, like I'm not, or that I'm not a good mom. But a lot of people resent that because they're like, they see me, what they call partying. They see me partying and they're like, aren't you a mom? Like, why don't you have pictures with your kids? Why are you spending time with your friends and not with your kids? They
Mhm.
don't see that I'm with my kids 24/7, but I'm not going to start posting pictures of that.
I also feel that people are used to like the old influencers and content creators where they shared everything, absolutely everything about their lives. And like
Me in the
now,
bathroom.
yeah, now I think like that new content creators and new influencers and YouTubers and TikTokers and everything are trying to be more selective on what they
Mm-hmm.
let you see. Like for me specifically, I from the beginning, from the get-go, I said, okay, if I'm gonna do this, then I'm going to let the people see what I want them to see. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna overexpose my relationship or my marriage. I'm not gonna, overexpose my body because I'm not comfortable, and neither is my husband. He's not comfortable with me like exposing my body and stuff.
That makes sense.
So like, I set my own terms because it's my content.
Mm-hmm.
And when people ask about like very personal things, like I just don't answer because I owe them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. It's a very thin and very small line between you owe your fame or whatever to your followers and like knowing that you have control of whatever you share. And
Mm-hmm.
if people doesn't like it, then if people don't like it, then they just you
No.
like they can just leave and new people will come and like they're gonna be appreciative of what you
Yeah.
share. Like for example, me, I share a lot of makeup and like get ready with me's and fashion and stuff and beauty in general, but I'm not gonna be oversharing like, oh, I pooped today and my husband pooped as well. Like no.
Yeah. And you're really good at, I mean, I follow her content. She's amazing. You're really good at creating content that matters.
Thank you.
And you're right. I don't think you have to be oversharing to have people like, I think also that a lot of people do that as a gimmick, as a way of getting more viewers. Is that obviously, like, if I go and take my clothes off and I post a TikTok, obviously I will get more views and a lot of comments, people saying, wow, you're brave, amazing, and other people saying you're a whore, whatever, like, you'll get both sides, right? But regardless of the messages, who cares about what they say? It's that you're getting traffic, because there's no bad publicity. And so I think a lot of people do it as a gimmick, that they
Mhm.
feel like they want to overshare, because that will make them quote unquote famous, right?
Yeah.
But it's I don't know, it's a shortcut that I personally wouldn't want to do.
Oh, me
um,
neither. Because like, actually,
mhm,
speaking facts, my videos that have, like, the ones that
mhm,
Carlos is in,
mhm.
get like skyrocket views, likes, and everything, shares, saves, whatever. Than the
Really?
ones that I actually like share, like, knowledge and how to do this makeup, yeah, like, as soon as Carlos show his face and like on screen, boom, like it just skyrockets.
Is it
But
like numbers in general, or is it
yeah,
specifically women?
no, numbers in general, like,
Oh,
it's
that's
just, I mean,
crazy.
yeah, women, because like my audience is like 85%
Yeah, the
women.
same with mine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy. And obviously I'm tempted, like, oh, hey, like, should I do more content with Carlos? And I'm like, honestly, I would rather have a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage
Mm-hmm.
than have views and likes on TikTok. Like, he's gonna be in like a couple, like, he can be in, like, getting ready with us, or like something stupid, or like something funny. But I'm not. I refuse to overshare my life with him, because it's like, it's my privacy. It's something it's mine.
Yeah,
It's the moment that you overshare, it's theirs,
I know. It
and
just feels
they
weird.
are entitled to have an opinion, judge, criticize, comment, hate, or whatever they want. So
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I don't see myself doing that for the sake of likes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's the thing, right? But I don't know what's gonna happen to you guys when you guys have kids. But I
Oh,
don't know if
I'm getting off of social media.
no, but like I'm saying, like I don't know if you're gonna have the same backlash that I have, where people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, aren't you a mom? Shouldn't you be creating content for your as a mom?"
Not
Or
necessarily.
exactly. No, it shouldn't have to be like that, because women, like you and I, we're professionals. What matters first is our careers and our jobs. That's what we're promoting. That's what we're exposing to the world in a way of to motivate people to also follow their dreams. That's the main goal, right? I don't want to share my kids, because that's none of it, nobody's
Period. Like, you don't even
business,
have to
right?
explain why you don't want to show and share
but
your
that being
kids.
but that being said, I get a lot of criticism, because I on my Instagram you will see a lot of stories of me doing my everyday things that I want to share, like you say.
Mhm.
And then people are like, "Where are your kids? You're such a bad mom because you're going everywhere without them." It's like, no, they're there. I just don't take a picture of them. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard. So yeah, so I find that a lot of people just, they're upping your business, and like you say, when you set boundaries, they will try to find anything,
Mhm.
anything. And then they will be like, "Oh, you're such a bad mom."
Mhm.
Like, and that's why you're going crazy. It's like, oh my God.
And talking about like those type of
Mm-hmm.
comments, like, I'm so bad, specifically with social media.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so bad at just like like staying shut, don't, like, not saying anything. Like, I always have to, like, respond. I have to reply. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
so bad. But I've been working on it, and now, like, I mean, for with the people close to me, when they say something bad, I literally just don't even answer anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
like, that's me, like, being better and doing better.
Healing.
But with comments, I'm compelled to explain, because I feel like that's how we've been raised, or at least like this generation, like we've been raised to like
Yeah,
explain, like.
I know. But the thing is, and I got told this yesterday, because I was explaining to somebody made a comment, like not on social media, like they sent me a WhatsApp, and they're like, "Hey, blah 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 said that you don't talk to them anymore. You're just on the phone whenever you see them." And I'm like, what? And I had just met this person, right? And I
Mhm.
had spent my entire afternoon with this person, and I only sent one message at 6 p.m. And I have the record because I only have that message, right? And I was like, why? And then I started explaining. I started going, well, that's not true. I only checked my phone once at 6 p.m. and I have the evidence. I had the screenshots and
Mhm.
everything. And I'm like,
Mhm.
here, look, I only checked my phone once. Why is this person saying that I'm on the phone all the time? And then I thought to myself, like, why am
Why
I
are you
explaining?
explaining? Yeah.
Like, seriously, it was like I just naturally did it. And then I took a step back and I'm like, you know what, Maria? I have the right to be on my phone 24/7 if I want to.
Yeah.
Why am I explaining? Why do I want to be right? Why do I want to have that last word if nobody deserves my explanation? You know what I should have said? Okay. Or not even responded to the message.
Like one of my friends, well, Teo, you know
Yeah.
her.
Mhm. Love you,
So
Theo.
so she told me about something she like recently. I'm not obviously not going to share why she has seeked
Yeah.
professional help, but I'm so proud of her. She told me like that because like it's the first time she
Yeah.
actually looks for professional help,
Awesome.
and I was so proud of her. And she said that I inspired her because seeing my peace
Mm-hmm.
compared to other people close to me and their not being, yeah,
Chaos.
and their chaos and not being able to be stable
Mm-hmm.
inspired her. And like she realized like, wow, therapy does work. So whatever, that's like a
Yeah.
little background story. So I'm not going to share like why, obviously it's not my thing to say or to share with the world,
Mm-hmm.
but I loved like what to hear what she learned in like her first few
Yeah.
sessions and everything. And she told me something like very interesting that her therapist told her,
Mm-hmm.
that she's always been afraid of when people say like, I told you so. And
Hmm.
she's like, well, I think like collectively we are afraid to obviously fail. Like
And
failure
to
is
make
something,
mistakes. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
failure is something like very scary, especially
Yeah.
for people pleasing people like us,
Mm-hmm.
and for people that are very competitive, or type A people like us as well.
Represent.
Yeah. And we agree that's something that it's very scary, like
Very
failure.
scary. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Mm-hmm.
she was, talking about how she's scared of like when people tell you, I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what her therapist said? Then you're gonna say, yes, I made a mistake, and that's it. Like getting to that
Yeah.
point of like peace, and
So
like
what? Mm-hmm.
to be so at peace with your decisions, and like you don't care what people are gonna say to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when like you've healed so much.
I love
Like
that.
we are afraid of when people tell you like, like you this and this. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Accountability.
Accountability and being able to say, okay, sure. Or
Hmm.
even the sorry, being able to apologize. I've apologized. I don't have an issue with apologizing. And people always say that's so admirable. I'm like, is it? Because I guess now
It
I
is.
do it so much now that
It
I'm like,
is. It is. It is.
but you're right. It's accountability. Being able to say, yeah, I made a mistake.
And not feeling the urge of explaining like, or like trying to like defend yourself. Like we're always
Yeah.
trying to like, that is
Mm-hmm.
like that defense mechanism to like jump and trying to defend, and like that is a sign that you have a lot of um internal scars that you need
Mm-hmm.
to heal. Because if
Yeah.
why do we feel the need to like jump and like say, no, but I did this because of that, and like I couldn't do this because, like, doesn't matter, like just say, you
Sure.
know what, you're right.
Yeah. And I realized that after I sent
Hmm.
that message, when I said like, what? And it was funny because I laughed. I'm like, what? Is this
Yeah.
person crazy?
Hmm.
Check the screenshots. And then I was like, why am I explaining?
Hmm.
Yeah, let that person think I'm on the phone all the time. So what?
Yeah, and smarter people also like know how to acknowledge when they have done something, when they made a
Mm-hmm.
mistake. Like
Yeah,
it's just like it's human. Like why do we want to try to make ourselves seem like we're like invincible and like we're perfect? Like we're not perfect.
we're not. Who wants perfect? I don't want
Yeah,
perfect.
but like I feel like we all think that we have to be perfect, or we have grown up in an
That
environment
yes,
that has made us feel like we need to be perfect all the time.
we've grown up in a place where we thought that we would only be loved if we were
Yes.
perfect,
Yes.
and that's
That's
not the
it.
case.
That's not the case.
I love you broken and just the way you are.
Broken and healing.
And healing, for
Yeah.
sure. Healing for your own sake, not for me.
Yeah.
You know? Well, let's jump into the next chapter of why we went missing, since we already talked about boundaries and friendships and families. Let's jump into work.
Yeah. Tell us about it, stud.
Dum,
Grease
dum, dum,
reference.
dum, dum, dum. It's been a really difficult year for work for different reasons, I think financially difficult, because we are feeling the effects of the pandemic years later.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have lost their jobs, and at least I'm in, well, you are also in the service area.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of people are, because they're losing their jobs, they can't afford a lot of the things that they would normally pay for, right?
Mhm.
So I can see that, for example, in my acting studio. We used to have classes that were filled with people. We I couldn't even find spaces for people, and now so many people have lost their jobs, and so many people are just barely surviving, that the idea of paying for a class to get them to the next level of professionalism is way too much.
Yeah.
So I can totally understand that. Then we had the strike, and I didn't work for months, right? And then I had my show Virgin River, yes, represent,
Ooh.
that came out on Netflix on September, and I couldn't talk about it because we were on strike. And now I can, but now the buzz has passed, because the whole point of promoting your projects is to promote them when they're coming out.
Okay, I want to touch on something you said. Like,
Hmm.
tell how did it feel having been in a huge production and not being able to talk about it? Like, how did that make you feel?
Sad. I think, but I also, and I want to touch upon that, because I did go into a major depression when it did come out. So I also
Why?
wanted
Because you didn't feel like you
no,
could
I just
enjoy it.
it was overwhelming. No, 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 it was overwhelming emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can break it down. So the first part, I felt bad that as a Latina, Salvadoran specifically, actress, I wasn't able to tell the world that I was in the number one show in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just for me. I know a lot of Latino actors who were in amazing projects this year, and because of the strike, they just couldn't talk about it. The Blue Beetle, for example,
Mm.
it's a case in point. It's a great movie with a lot of Latinos and amazing Latino story, and they just couldn't, they weren't
Same,
able to do
yeah.
the red carpet. They weren't able to do the whole shebang. And that's really sad, because these are amazing Latino talents that the world needs to hear about. But because we were on strike, we couldn't do that. And I'm not blaming the strike, by the way. I think the strike was absolutely necessary. It's just what I call poor timing. It is what it is, right? So for me, not being able to talk about Virgin River after I waited for it for a year, imagine. I shot August 2022.
What? I feel like that was like yesterday. It
No, I
was more than
shot,
a year ago.
yes, August 2022. That's
Oh
when I
my god.
filmed my episode. And then I had to wait a year, because I thought it would come out in July, because Virgin River usually releases the shows in July. But I'm assuming that because of the strike, they pushed it to September, assuming that the strike might be over by then, and it wasn't. And so I waited for over a year to be on this amazing show that I watch, and that my for example my
Dad.
dad loves, you know, and I was so excited, because it was not just the number one show around the world, but and it was Netflix number one show. So all these people that used to say things to me like, "Oh, we don't know you because you're not on Netflix." It's like, okay, do you want me to be on it? I've been on Netflix before, by the way.
Yeah.
I've had many shows on Netflix, but I guess people don't count those shows, right? They want a show that's produced by Netflix. So here you go. I'm giving you
Oh, I get
Virgin
what you're
River.
saying. Like, you've been on Netflix because Netflix purchased the rights to like have that show for like a
Yes.
while, and but this is a Netflix produced show.
Exactly. So let's explain to our listeners. There are two types of shows on Netflix. The first show is the show that is bought by Netflix to show on their platform. So it's a show that has already aired somewhere else, and then they buy to show on Netflix, right?
Mhm.
And then the second way of having a show is a show that is completely produced by Netflix. So it means that they're the ones in charge of paying the writers. They produce it, hire the actors. When I did Virgin River, I would have the Netflix logo on my email every day.
Mhm.
They were sending me new scripts,
Like if it were
contracts.
Warner Brothers, like if it were like a
Exactly.
producing, like, yeah,
Exactly. So, for
studio.
example, Case 39, the movie I did
Yeah.
with Bradley Cooper
It
and
was on Netflix
Renee Zellweger, it was on Netflix. And
for a very long. I think it's still there. No.
I think they just removed it like a few weeks ago, but it was there for the longest time. So, and then people are like, "You're not on Netflix." Well, yes, I am. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that this time I was on this Netflix show,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't talk about it, and it was really hard. And then it came out, and I wanted to do the interviews. I wanted to tell the people about my experience, especially because it was one of the most challenging scenes to film in my career.
Yeah, it
And
was it was amazing, by the way. So
oh,
like,
thank
if you haven't
you.
watched it, you can go watch it now.
Episode 3, season
Mhm.
5. It's called Calculated Risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Spanish, it's for some reason it's not called Virgin River. It's called Un lugar para soñar.
No way.
I mean, it is a
Uh,
dreamy place to live, and but I mean, from Virgin River
to
to
un lugar
Un
para
lugar para
soñar.
soñar is like, where'd you get that title? Anyway, and so it was hard. It was hard not to talk about it. But now I want to jump to the second part of Virgin River. Um, that I was overwhelmed. I was really overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed. The first time I saw it, I watched it with a few of my students. They were super nice. Like, we waited until 2 in the morning, and they messaged me, and they're like, "Do you want to join our platform? We have like a
Watch party,
like a watch party,
virtual
virtual
watch
watch
party.
party." And I was like, "Yeah, of course," because I was gonna watch it alone, right? So I'm like, "Sure, let's do this." And just watching it with them and seeing their reactions, it just made me cry. The bad thing about that is that we were watching it online, so it was choppy, so I didn't actually get to see my scenes smooth, and they were in a very small screen.
But then
So
you did.
then
Then you
I
did.
did. When I finished the call with them, I turned my TV. It was like 3:30 in the morning by this time. I turned the TV on, my huge big screen in my bedroom, and I got to see myself. It was so overwhelming. It was overwhelming. It was I've seen myself on screen before many times, but I think it was a combination of number one show in the world, and I knew everybody was watching it at the same time. I felt the pressure. I remember how I filmed it, how difficult it was with the movements of the cameras, and the baby that we had. We had a very like a newborn baby in our arms, and the heat. It was like 35 degrees under the sun. Like, there were so many elements that made this show challenging, and not necessarily the acting, which is funny. Not the acting wasn't hard. It was mostly the technical
I
stuff.
mean, it wasn't hard for you because you've been a mom. You are a mom, so
Yeah.
you remember what we said. We talked about in class
Mm-hmm.
for one. We had a short challenge. We had to like do a short film, and one of the
Mm-hmm.
actresses
Oh, yeah, yeah,
was like giving
yeah.
birth, and
Mm-hmm.
she didn't know how to do those scenes because
Mm-hmm.
she's not a mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for you it wasn't hard because you
Mm-hmm.
are a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like technically it looked so
No, it
challenging.
was hard. And the thing is, Virgin River later had two more scenes of other people giving birth, and I could see the difference. And you're right.
Mhm.
And but I think it's not necessarily that I have the experience of giving birth, but I think it's the fact that I'm willing to show my vulnerability.
Yeah.
I of giving birth. I think sometimes when actresses think of giving birth, they do the whole
Pain.
the pain for TV phase. Like, and and it's very acty.
Yeah.
In my case, I did what I actually did when I was giving birth, which is I was throwing up a lot. I couldn't stop throwing up. And so what I did in my audition is that every time I would feel a contraction coming, which is what happens. It's like they come like in waves. When I
Mhm.
felt a contraction, you feel like you want to throw up. And so I would have that moment of like, and I would almost throw up. And it would bring tears to my eyes, and just because I'm holding the puke, right? And so I did that in the audition, and that's what made the whole thing real,
Yeah.
But that was because I was willing to look vulnerable. I was willing to look um tired and ugly, and which, by the way, when I got to set, The director was amazing. He's from Spain, by the way, Felipe Rodriguez. I love him. He's amazing. But one of the things he said is pull back on the puking, like don't puke. And I was like, why? If that's what happens, he's like, I know. He goes, but it's ugly, and this is Virgin River. It's
Oh,
like you
okay.
don't want to
Hmm.
look ugly on Virgin River, and I'm like, you're absolutely right. And so all everything I did was I just removed
The
the
puking.
puking part. I didn't even puke. I was just trying
Like,
not to puke, right? But it
hmm.
still looked ugly.
Hmm.
And so he was like, just take that back, and I'm like, sure, and I did, and it looked amazing, and but it was overwhelming because I still, Maria, to this day, I understand that I have all this experience. Like, I understand that I've been on TV for 20 years now and I've worked with some of the best actors and directors and all that stuff. I get that. But in my heart, I'm still just a Salvadoran girl,
Hmm.
and it's very overwhelming to see yourself in such a big show, doing such good work, and then thinking, that's me. How did I get
That's
there?
crazy.
How did I get there? Like, I was asking myself, how am I in the town of Virgin River? Like, how did I get there?
Oh, I get chills.
I know it's so weird, because you watch the show and you become in love with all the characters, and then suddenly you are one of the characters, and
Hmm.
it's like, how did I get there? So I went into this massive depression. People think this is all fun and games, but no, I fell into this huge depression. I actually gained around 12 pounds from eating out of anxiety because I couldn't handle the being successful in that moment. And this is something really funny that I need to talk with my therapist, is the idea that my life narrative has been, I am an underdog. My life has been about being a previous victim and then suddenly rising from the ashes, right? Like, I am an underdog. I am an unknown person. That's why when people on TikTok write me messages like Vanessa Tomasino, they go, who's that? We don't know her. She's not famous. My response is always, yeah, you're right. I'm
Hmm.
not.
Hmm.
Because I actually see myself like that, like a very unknown person. So my life narrative has been, I am this poor Salvadoran girl who nobody knows. That's I and the violins come out.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this is so sad. My white colleagues you know, get to have recurring roles on big shows, and I'm a simple day player, because I'm Hispanic, I'm Latina. That's my life narrative. And so suddenly you're in this big show, and then people are congratulating you, and the work is actually really good, and then suddenly I'm not an underdog. Like, I am a successful person, and it totally messed me up, because then I could no longer keep my narrative of being a victim, of being what's it called, not just the underdog, but being this person who has all these barriers. Now I was
Hmm.
on the other side.
Hmm.
It was fucking scary.
Yeah, because you were used to that narrative, but like also not to like
Oh my god.
blame you, but like who's in charge of that narrative, you know?
Me.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucked up. I mean, it's now I
So you were
understand.
so in the comfort zone of being in that like narrative. You're like, okay, yeah, yeah, that's who I am, but like your dreams are not that narrative.
No. And that's the thing. Then suddenly you start overcoming your narrative,
Mhm.
and then you start questioning who you are. You're like, I have built an entire idea of myself, a version of myself that
Mhm.
is an underdog. What is going to happen if tomorrow I win some award? What is going to happen if I make this huge blockbuster movie? I get nominated for a SAG. I win a SAG. What's going to happen to me? Because it goes against everything that I think I am.
Mhm.
So I'm going to fall into this huge, massive depression because I've always thought that I'm going to have to fight all my life. But what happens if I don't have to fight anymore and I actually get what I want? Which also comes back to love, which is the third part we're going to talk about
Mhm.
today. When we think we're not worthy of love. and you start to sabotage your relationships because you're like, nobody will ever love me, I'm so complicated, or nobody will love me because I am a successful woman, so it's better to be alone. And then you find someone who's like, no, I love you, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
No, you can't. And then you start finding excuses for that person not to love you. It's fucked up, so I do have that recurring thing that I need to work on. So it was a good year in the sense that I was able to overcome a lot of things. The auditions that I did were really good. Oh, I did So Help Me Todd this year too. It's just that I did it in January. It feels like a long time ago, but I did it this year.
It feels so weird.
It feels so weird. It feels like a lifetime ago, but So Help Me Todd, the episode I did, was this year.
Yeah.
So, it's been a good year, but it has also been a year of learning and maturing because, I got to say that after Virgin River, it really put my life into perspective, and having to think that I can actually become a very successful actress, and I have to accept that instead of run away from that. So that's my year working lesson that I learned this year. So how about you?
How about you?
How about you? Because I'm done. I'm gonna start crying soon.
Well, this year was the year that I actually started creating content as beauty and lifestyle content creator. Seriously, like this year has been the year that I have less than 1 year like doing it, and I actually enjoy it a lot. I think it's something that I know a lot of and that I'm good at, and I feel like
You're really good at it.
a lot of people, I mean, I know I'm not a pioneer in that in that topic in El Salvador, in the world, I'm sorry, but I think I saw a niche that wasn't being like taken care of in like content creating wise, and I took the opportunity, like I jumped right in, and then a lot of people like followed my steps, and a lot of people started like copying my content, which is fine. I mean,
Flattery.
I don't care. I mean, obviously, like a part of me is like, "Ugh, why can't they do like their own shit?" But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I guess they liked it enough to like copy it, or do like very similarly. Like no one really like took makeup, like the makeup topic, and created content in El Salvador like the way that I do. I feel like a lot of people like do very like produced makeup, and like I like more like natural, more sustainable makeup. Like I mean, for me, it's not sustainable to like throw in like a full face of makeup every day. For me, it's like what I'm wearing right now. It's just like I literally use 3 products. That's it. And I don't know. It was a great year, and like in light of that, like taking it seriously and like actually doing it, I got my first like big international brand deal with Clinique, and they took me to Mexico to like meet all the Clinique ambassadors in Latin America, and it was a great trip. It was all paid by them, and I don't know, like for me that was, ¿cómo se dice? Evento canónico, like.
Oh, like a canon event that changed your life.
Yeah, it was
changed
like
your
the
life.
canon event that changed my content creating life. And then I don't know, like I actually started doing this as like a part-time job. I don't say full-time because I have like multiple full-time jobs. Like marketing for Elemento and being a makeup artist. So like this is like my other side hustle. So work-wise, it's been a great year with like brands and like brand deals and stuff. With film, we had like the premiere for like the movie that we made 2 years ago. It was like 2 weeks ago, I think. We went to like the opening night and everything. It was interesting. It was interesting. I mean, it's fun to see yourself on the big screen and the movie theater and stuff. I mean, I hated every second of like me watching myself.
Which she shouldn't, because it was really good. I think she did an amazing job. You did.
I weighed like 50 pounds. I had to gain weight for the movie. So,
but who cares? Like, who cares? Like it's about the work. And I think it was perfect for your character. It really like, it doesn't bother me. I know it bothers you.
I mean, I feel like everyone feels cringe when they see themselves for the first time.
Yes, always. I remember watching my first time. I was like, but then you get over it and you love what you do, and I think what you did was really great. I mean, I love that scene where you're like yelling I'm not gonna spoil it for
Okay.
you. Come back, no, like she's really good. I felt it. I thought that was great, and I don't know. I mean, I think for it to be your very first project, and you having a lead role, and your name is at the beginning of the movie of the credits, that's
Mhm.
amazing. I mean, not everybody has that
Yeah.
luck of and that blessing of having their first project be
No, yeah. So like
a
like the
starring role
the
in a
way I
feature
see it
film.
is, I mean, I it was what 4 years ago that I told myself I'm gonna be an actress, and like that day 2 weeks ago, like I was like I came full circle, and like I did what I told myself I was gonna do, and whatever happens from now till whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like I fulfilled my dream, and I mean, if I get more projects, then that's great. If not, then I mean, I did it. So
Yeah. And the thing is with acting is it takes time. You just have to
yeah.
be in the game forever. But you could have this movie right now premiere, not work for another 2 years, and then be a lead in another series or movie 2 years from now. Like that's the game, right? It's just
Mm.
being able to withstand the time that you're not working.
Also, I feel like you said, the strike just like
Oh
set
God.
back a lot of
Yeah.
projects. So I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like we have to chill, and you know, uh,
Produce.
yeah, I think we also had like a huge aha moment. Like, okay, like the reality of our situation as like Latina actresses, like we don't have,
Hmm.
what we need legally to work in the U.S. So like, let's just like keep working from here. And like, honestly, I feel like it's something that we just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, but like if we don't create our opportunities, and who will? Like many like A-listers do it. They
Yeah.
produce and they direct and they act in their own movies. Like why can't we do
Yeah.
that?
I think it's a better bet, not just for our careers,
Than
but
just waiting
also
and wishing for a game
exactly.
that we're never gonna win. Like it's
No.
designed for us to like lose every single time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's better if we just do our thing. Not to mention that it gives us control of the storytelling as well. I think it's not just important that as actors we show the world what it looks like to be Latina.
Mm-hmm.
Our life experience is very different from a white person's life experience in
Yeah.
acting. So I think it's important that we show that through our work, but also in storytelling the stories we create are going to be very different from the stories they create up north. So
Mm-hmm.
why not do it?
Yeah.
Like I to be quite honest, I think for me it's been I haven't felt brave enough to go into producing again. But I think you're right. I think 2024 is the year for us to produce and to create, because it gives us a more artistic voice. And yeah, let's just
I
get it
mean, to
done.
put it bluntly, we're not screenwriters.
I mean, excuse
So
me. I mean,
are you?
of course I'm a screenwriter. What are you talking about?
I mean, but like you don't live off of writing
No,
scripts.
I've sold scripts and I've created movies. I mean, like for example, Cosificada is a good example
Yeah,
of
but that's
something.
that's a great movie.
Yeah, that I got paid to create, and I had to write it and all that stuff. So yeah, but you're right. It's not like I'm not a screenwriter to a show that I live off every day. Absolutely. Hmm.
Like I feel like we are a little rusty in that sense. Like we
Yes.
we don't have that muscle, like like exercise to like right now sit down, write a script.
Hmm.
Like I don't, at least I don't.
Hmm.
Like I know that I have to like get a cup of coffee, get in the zone, maybe procrastinate for 3 to 4 hours, and then like start. It's gonna take me some time, but like we have to start so like we can do what we love and not expect to get hired for big projects that it's our dream and like our goal, but it's just a game that we're destined to not win. I don't want to say lose, but not win, because the system is just
Yeah.
the way it is, and we all know about how
And I want to
it's
say,
designed.
I want to take control of my life. Like
Hmm.
I'm done. Like I'm done just auditioning and auditioning and auditioning and now booking for X or Y reason. I just want to create my own content and challenge myself with new roles. So yeah, 2024 is the year for that, I think.
Hmm.
So get her done. And then to close this very long podcast, before we start the new year, I mean, we will start the new year with a podcast season 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like to hear that. Um, Before we end, let's talk about why we disappeared for so long in our love department?
Well, first of all, I'm in
I'm
the
just, I
middle.
went mute. I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk.
I'm in the middle of like wedding planning. Well, I'm not sure how 2024 wedding is gonna play out because I'm like, I mean, we're very much together and we're very much in love and happy. But like our religious wedding is just like we have to like see some details, so we don't really know like when it's gonna be, where it's gonna be. But I was in the middle of wedding planning my civil wedding, and I got married a little over a
Yay.
month ago, and it was
Mhm.
like a pretty fun night. We had so much fun, so much food.
Yeah, so
It
good,
was
by the
so
way. It
good.
was so
And
yummy.
it was like a really intimate 30,
Oh,
31 people. What?
can I talk about the food?
Yeah?
Because I don't think I ever told you this.
No.
Okay, well, if you don't know, you know this,
Yeah.
but I think you forget. But if you don't know, I don't eat meat.
You don't eat meat. Yeah, I know.
And her wedding food was all meat, most of it, except
Yeah.
the salmon, and the salmon was amazing. But you know what I did?
Yeah. You ate it?
I ate the meat.
Yay! It was
No.
really good though.
Don't sing just yet. You're like,
Your stomach?
I died the next day.
Yeah, I mean, the chef is really, he's like,
He's amazing.
no, but he's amazing, but he's like very strict. He's like, no, this is what you're gonna get. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I had no say in like what we ate. He's
No,
like,
I
"This is what
know,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
do."
I know that because I could sense that
Yeah.
Maria wasn't selecting the dishes. It was just kind of like, this is the menu for the day. And it was amazing. Like, I hadn't eaten meat in years. Like,
Yeah.
maybe like the last time I ate meat was,
Because when there's no option, you usually eat chicken or something like that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, or I just don't eat,
but
right?
no red meat.
There were no red meat, no. And so last time I ate meat was 2008. No, 2006.
Like 15 years ago.
What happened was I went to France, and my best friend Charlotte lived there with her mom, and I was staying with them. And so Charlotte was like, "Mom, Vanessa's coming." And she's like, "I'm going to prepare the most delicious meal." She starts cooking early in the morning, right? For my arrival. I arrived like at 9, 10 p.m. And guess what it was? Meat. It was raw meat. Okay. I obviously had to eat it because they had prepared the meat the entire day, and that was all there was to eat. And so I ate it. The next day I was throwing up, I had headaches, and I had diarrhea.
Oh my god. Well, but my weddings, like it was 6-course meal, and only 2 of the 6 were meat. We had the salmon, we had the
Salmon,
risotto,
which was amazing.
we had the fish.
Yes. No.
Yeah, we had fish at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, with saffron.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the carpaccio, the steak, and then
steak.
The dessert. It was 6-course meal.
So what happened is
she ate like three dishes that were not meat.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But
they were amazing.
You decided to eat the meat.
Of course I did, because they looked amazing.
It was
and
amazing.
and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to eat it because Maria's a best friend, and I'm not going to leave this piece of meat here. Like, I just felt bad, like I felt like it's a wedding. It's not like it's not like I chose the restaurant. Like, it's a wedding. You eat what you
didn't
get.
have to.
No, but I wasn't going to leave that.
But what I did, like, my dress was so tight because like the day before they like tightened it like even more. I literally had to eat half of every dish, and I gave the rest to Carlos. He was like my little personal.
Oh, he was happy.
Yeah, he was like, I'm like, I ate half next, because I just couldn't breathe anymore.
Yeah. Oh my god,
I couldn't breathe.
So I ate the food. It was amazing. The meat was insane. Like, I hadn't tasted meat since 2006, and so I was like, "Oh my god, this is so yummy!" Blah blah blah. The next day, I couldn't open my eyes. The migraine was so bad that I kept doing this. My belly just was swollen like I had a baby. And I couldn't go to the bathroom. And I was just like, what is happening to me? And then I realized, oh shit, I ate meat. I was like that for 2 days.
Oh my God.
2 days. And then I said, you know what? From here on in, no more. Like, even if it's like, I don't care if it's the only thing that I have to eat.
And you don't eat pork either, right?
No pork.
Oh, I love pork.
I know. So that was so I never told you that,
Yeah, it's
but the
okay.
wedding was amazing. It was so good. Yeah.
So that happened. That's oh well, and I moved in with Carlos
Mhm.
September, like on his birthday, actually September 2nd. We moved in, and it's been great. I mean, I don't know. I understand when people say like it's hard, but I feel like it was the best thing for us personally. Um, because like there's no surprises now. Like we
Mhm.
actually chose to go through with the wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think, I mean, I'm not judging anybody who does this, but I think
it's
you
necessary.
need to live with
Yeah.
someone before you make a decision to get married. And even like if you want to get married through like a civil wedding, go right ahead because that's very easy to get rid of, you know. Like I, for example, have never had I've been married twice and I've never had a religious wedding. And the reason that's why is because I was always unsure of my partners. Like I always
Mm.
knew that it wasn't going to work out.
Mhm.
And not because they're bad people. I love them, both of them.
It
They're
just didn't work out.
they're good people. I mean, yeah, we're incompatible in so many ways, and yeah, a lot of really bad things happen at some point. But they're good. They're fine. I don't have a beef with them. I have zero problems with them. Um, but I always knew like I didn't want to take that step because it was too complicated. It's easy to get divorced through the state. It's expensive, by the way,
Mhm.
but it's easy. It's easier in Canada and it's less expensive. When I got married in Canada, I like that I get married in different countries. I hope my third wedding will be somewhere else.
We are all hoping it's somewhere else.
So
I need a vacation
I told you, let's do this.
urgently.
Europe. So the first wedding I had in Canada, it was very easy to dissolve. I mean, we both agreed that we wanted to get divorced. So a year after being separated, we just went to the mairie. I was gonna say, oof, I'm speaking French now.
Mhm.
We went to like the administration offices of the state, and we were like, we both want to get divorced, and they're like, why? We're incompatible, and they're like,
Okay.
okay. They give us a certificate. We signed. It was done. And then we both look at each other like, nice to meet you. Take good care. If you need anything, let me know. And we just left. This time around, the state in El Salvador, they're charging me like $900, 850,
Wow.
$900, which makes me wonder, what do people who do not have money do? Like, how do impoverished communities pay for divorces?
They don't get a divorce.
That's crazy to me. And then I found out that you can get it for free, quote unquote, but only if if your marriage is not, if your divorce rather is not agreed upon both parties. So only if you're contesting it or you were fighting for it to get a divorce, then you can get free legal counsel and a free
Mm,
divorce. But if both people agreed on the
you have to
divorce,
pay.
you have to pay.
Wow. And your second marriage was here in El Salvador.
Yes, my second marriage was here in El Salvador and not in Canada.
Oh.
Yes, so now I'm facing this whole situation of it's expensive, and we have, because we're both international people, we have to bring documents from the outside, so it's taking
Mhm.
longer than I would want. um but yeah, so I agree with you. I think you need to first live with the person if you
Oh
are going to take the
yes.
step of a religious wedding.
Oh, definitely. It's not like we had any doubts and like we moved to like to see if we would still wanted to be married, but it was just the right thing for that point in time for us. His brother, who he lived with,
Hmm.
he also got engaged and he moved.
Oh, I
So
didn't know
like
that.
he didn't have like a roommate to like keep
Hmm.
the house where they were.
So both of them were engaged at the same time?
Yeah, at the
That's
same time.
crazy.
Hmm.
When is their wedding?
Um, it's not gonna be anytime soon because
Oh, okay.
he's marrying this girl from Miami. She's Salvadoran, but she like was raised in Miami.
Oh.
So he's going through the process to like get his green card and
Oh,
stuff.
shoot. Okay.
So for now, they're just gonna have go to the
Hmm.
courthouse and stuff. But their wedding, I think they don't really want one. I think they're um waiting. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. They're just waiting,
Okay.
but
Fair.
they just want to get the process of like getting him being able to like travel outside the U.S.
Yeah.
to be able. Their story is like crazy. It's like a true love story. Like when they come back and
Oh.
like second time, like me and Carlos as well. But theirs is like way deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So yeah, so he didn't have like a roommate to like keep the house. He moved back to his parents, and like, moving back to your parents when you're like, when you've lived alone, it's like it's pretty hard.
So
I just
hard.
needed to like, have my independence living wise, like with my house. So it's just like, why not move now? Like, why are we waiting? We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get married in November. It's just 2 months from now. Let's just do it. And yeah, like, I mean, we never felt like this, like we never got through like a hard period, like where we got like, surprises, like, oh, I didn't know he was like this, or I didn't know she did this. It was just so smooth. It was, the way I would describe it is that it was smooth. Like our transitions, like living together, was smooth,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great, and it's great, and we're very happy and in love. And I don't know, it's just, we're really good at like dividing our roles in the house. Like I cook, he cleans,
Mm-hmm.
period. And then we have someone like come clean, like deep clean once a week. um and yeah, that's my last quarter of 2023 love wise.
Wow.
What about you?
Well, that's the end of the show, folks.
No. No, you're not gonna get away with it.
I can see that. I've been,
No, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I
No,
mean,
JK, I do know.
Jesus. I've been separated from my last husband for 2 years now, almost, since my second child was born, where we both agreed that the relationship wasn't working. So, but I didn't date because I had a newborn and I just didn't feel like it. I needed to regroup, but I needed to figure out who I was. And started going through therapy. Then when I started doing that, I started dating, but occasionally just, for fun, nothing serious.
Mhm.
But then this year, I started dating someone more seriously, and it was a roller coaster at first because I was in my healing process and he wasn't in his healing process,
Mhm.
and he was also coming from a marriage that got dissolved. And so I think, for me, is I had a huge conflict with being with someone who wasn't healing, because I wasn't this time around. Third time's the charm.
Mhm.
This time around, although, you know what, I'm willing to get married as many times as I want to, because it's my life. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if I want to be J Lo or Elizabeth Taylor with her 7 marriages, then I have a right to do that if that's something that I want to do. I mean, obviously it's expensive, but all I'm saying is that I'm not going to put a label on it. I'm not going to judge myself for that. So this time around, I knew that whoever wanted to be with me had to be someone who was working on their healing process. So at first, he wasn't, and he didn't understand the process, and he actually made fun of it at first. I remember him saying like, "Oh, therapy, that's for whatever."
Mhm.
And then after we broke up, then he realized of the importance of therapy, and then he started working on himself, and it's been amazing. Like, I think that, I mean, I don't want to, like you said before, like, I don't want to think that I'm pressuring people into getting help, but it's so nice to see people get motivated to find help after they see or they talk to us, and they're like, oh, maybe there is something to this whole therapy thing.
Mhm.
And then I can see that he's more at peace and he's grounded and he's trying to live his best life compared to before. And so it's been interesting for me because I'm not, I mean, although I believe in romance, I'm not
No,
romantic.
you're not.
I'm very dry. I mean, ugh, I'm so dry. And I'm like, my heart is so small. I told you about that, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think I've said it in another podcast. My heart is so small, physically small. I'm not just like, it's not, it's not a metaphor. Like, my heart is small. It's like, the doctor said, like, your heart is so small. Anyway,
Of
it's not a
course.
metaphor for
Of
life.
course.
And so I've never been a romantic person, and now I find myself doing a few things that I don't think I would have ever done, and having faith in change. Like, I never thought, even though I know change happens because it has happened to me, like, I changed after therapy, and even before I changed from my 20s to my 30s. Like, I know people do change,
Mhm.
but I've never had anyone in my life change to benefit me. Like, yes, change for yourself, but also have a positive effect on me.
Mhm.
Normally they change on their own and they walk
Mhm.
away from me. But this time is being a witness to somebody's change, to improve their life, and then that having a ricochet effect on me in a positive way, then I totally, it's new to me. It feels like very Beauty and the Beast,
Mm-hmm.
that you see somebody change and you're like, wow. And then they're like, this is because the love is so strong. I want to be a better person. It's like, wow, like I don't think I've ever had that happen. And it's still weird to me, in a good way, weird.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful when, I mean, we all, I think it's like,
Mm-hmm.
bread and butter, therapy, bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
You change and you heal for yourself. But I think
Yes.
it's beautiful when you are so in love, like, the good type of love, el amor del bueno,
Mm-hmm.
that you want to be the best version for the other person
Yeah.
because they deserve the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this with Carlos. Like he said, like, and yeah, actually I told him a couple of days ago, like, I was talking about like his past and like my past and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it's just, I'm so grateful. Like, he doesn't understand how I'm so curious about his past because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I like, it's just, it's weird to me to like think about his past and like see like I imagine another person and then see him and like the person he is right now
Mm-hmm.
today. And I said, like, I don't mind like asking about your past and like you sharing all that information. That's probably like not something that I need. I don't care because I'm so glad that I have the best version, like the
Mm-hmm.
polished diamond. That's the version that I have, and I'm so
Mm-hmm.
thankful for that. And him saying like, I want to be the best version of Carlos for you, and like likewise, I want to be the best version of myself
Yeah.
to be able to love him the way that he deserves,
Mm-hmm.
and him love me the way that I deserve. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that
think that's beautiful.
it is. And so but for me, I'm still adjusting because I'm still
It's
waiting for
weird, yeah,
that.
it's weird when
Mm-hmm.
when you're used to something that's twisted and like not healthy,
Yes.
and not reciprocated love, and selfish love. Of course it's gonna feel weird to
Mm-hmm.
adjust to like an unselfish way of loving,
Mm-hmm.
and something so beautiful that you want to be the best. Like, just to think about it, it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And it's also the fear of thinking I've already gone through people who are hurting, and
Hmm.
he was also hurting before. So my fear is always, is he going to go back to that, right?
Hmm.
But then that's so unfair to do because I wouldn't want somebody questioning my progress,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So I always try to bring it back to me. It's like if I was able to change and grow and develop, why isn't he allowed to?
And at the end of the day, unselfish love
Mhm.
trusts, and
Yes. Mhm.
you can't, I mean, you can't, like, love is not having someone chained, pardon,
Mhm.
to you. Like,
Mhm.
that's not healthy love.
No.
You have to accept each other and be the best version of yourself for the other person and for yourself, and just hope for the best. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't control other people, because when you control and when you like chain them to you, that's not, like, that's selfish.
And why would you want
Why
that?
would you want, like, I want to be with someone that I'm like obligating to be there.
Oh my god, no. No, no, no. Been there, done that.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't want that anymore. I want somebody to choose me. I want somebody to choose me because they're happy with me. I don't want to force them to be with me. So yeah, it's been a different year for me, and I'm glad I went through all that from hell to heaven, and it's been a learning experience, and it also makes me wonder how little of life we know,
Yeah,
because I feel like I'm a 42-year-old woman. I could be a grandma. And I find that there's some things that still surprise me. And that's great
that's
because I don't
beautiful as
know it
well,
all, of
because like,
course.
why would you want to live if you already know everything? Like,
No.
you
Yeah.
need some surprises, you need a little bit of chile in
So
your life.
so definitely 2023 has been full of surprises, and I hope that 2024 can level us up a little bit on our work, because I do think that both you and I work so hard, and we find ourselves in a situation where, like, why am I so working so hard and not seeing the benefits of my work?
Yeah.
So I hope that we are able to level ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
then still believe in love and still fighting for love, whether it be our partnerships or ourselves, that amour propre, our personal love for ourselves. And then with the acting too, like I hope that we're able to create, 2024 gives us that energy to create something new and something that's worthwhile showing to the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then friendships. Let's hope that our boundaries stay up and stay, for the purpose of healing and for being our best versions and not allowing people to derail us by making us feel bad for what they want us to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, cheers to 2024, my friend.
Cheers to 2024. I feel like it was a good year, but it was heavy. It felt heavy.
Yeah, it felt heavy.
Like
Yes.
what I wish for 2024 is like a light year.
Yeah. Hmm.
No attachments, no baggage, no nothing. Like I want it to be
Absolutely.
like, I want it to happen what has to happen, and like that's it, and just work,
Hmm.
work, 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 work.
Work, and
Yeah.
let things just fall as they may. Not trying to control things that are out of our control. Just
Hmm.
be happy with what we have, and actually acknowledge the privilege that we have, because
Yeah.
we are privileged people. We're privileged humans in
Hmm.
this world. So I think more of that, more of taking time to create that awareness and do what we love. So
Hmm.
if you want to follow us, you can follow Maria.
I am MF Bruson on Instagram and TikTok.
And I am Vanessa Tomasino. That's one N, one S on Instagram and TikTok. Don't even bother on Facebook. We don't respond.
Wait over.
It's like we're done with Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wish you an amazing 2024. We hope to have a new episode soon up for you for the new year. If you have any questions for us, just message us. Like I said, to our socials or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube, and we're very happy to share our journey with you guys. So happy 2024.
Bye.
Bye.